Jennifer Walsh was running 20 minutes late, and her supervisor had already warned her twice this month. At 31, she was juggling a job as an office manager at Henderson Tech, raising her 7-year-old daughter alone, and trying to keep her head above water after her divorce left her with more debt than dignity. But when she saw the man sitting on the pavement outside Building 3, something made her stop. He looked to be in his early 30s, wearing worn clothes and holding a backpack that had seen better days. His beard was unkempt, and he sat with his back against a glass building, staring at nothing in particular. Most people walked past it without a second glance, their eyes sliding away as if homelessness might be contagious. Jennifer checked her watch. She was already late. Her supervisor, Margaret, had made it clear that one more tardiness would result in termination. She thought of her daughter Sophie waiting at the after-school program, of the rent due next week, of the careful budget that left no room for unemployment. Then she thought of her father. He had been homeless for 6 months after losing his job during the recession when Jennifer was 15. She remembered the shame in his eyes, the way people looked through him as if he had ceased to exist as a person. Her mother had eventually found him and brought him home, but those 6 months had changed him forever. Jennifer knelt down beside the man. "Excuse me," she said gently. "Are you all right?" The man looked up, and she saw intelligence in his tired eyes, along with something else she recognized: defeat. "I'm managing," he said quietly. "Thank you for asking. When did you last eat?" Jennifer asked. He hesitated. "Yesterday morning, I think." Jennifer opened her bag and pulled out the lunch she had packed that morning: a sandwich, an apple, and the chocolate chip cookies Sophie had helped her bake over the weekend. "Please take this," she said, holding it out to him. "I can get something else." The man stared at the food, then at her face. "You don't have to do that." "I know," Jennifer said, "but I want to. My father was homeless once. People walked past him every day like he was invisible. Just one person stopping, just one person seeing him as human, it would have meant everything." She set the food beside him along with a $20 bill from her wallet, money she had earmarked for gas but would figure out later. "What's your name?" she asked. "Ryan," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "Ryan Matthews. I'm Jennifer. I work in this building. If you're still here when I leave today, maybe we can talk about some resources that might help. There's a shelter on 4th Street that's actually decent, and a job placement center that dash." "Jennifer Walsh?" A sharp voice cut through the morning air. Jennifer turned to see her supervisor, Margaret, standing at the building entrance, her arms crossed, her expression cold. "You're 23 minutes late," Margaret said, "and I see you've been chatting instead of coming straight to your desk." Jennifer stood slowly. "I'm sorry, Margaret. I was just dash." "I don't want to hear excuses," Margaret interrupted. "We discussed this. You were warned. Collect your things from your desk. Your employment is terminated effective immediately." Jennifer felt the world tilt beneath her feet. "Margaret, please. I have a daughter. I just need this job. I promise it won't happen again." "You promised that last time," Margaret said coldly, "and the time before. You're unreliable, Jennifer. We need people we can count on." She turned and walked back into the building, leaving Jennifer standing there, her mind racing through the impossibility of her situation. No job meant no rent. No rent meant no apartment. No apartment meant she and Sophie would end up exactly where Ryan was now. Ryan had stood up, the untouched food still on the ground beside him. "I'm so sorry," he said. "This is because of me. You stopped to help me and dash." "No," Jennifer said firmly, even as tears threatened. "This is because I chose kindness over punctuality, and I'd make the same choice again." She bent down and picked up the food, pressing it into his hands. "Please eat this. And please go to that shelter I mentioned. Promise me. Ryan nodded, looking at her with an expression she couldn't quite read. I promise. And Jennifer, thank you, not just for the food, for seeing me. Jennifer went inside to collect her things, her hands shaking as she emptied her desk into a cardboard box. Her co-workers watched with a mixture of sympathy and relief that it wasn't them. When she walked out to the lobby carrying her box, she didn't see Ryan anywhere. That evening, Jennifer sat with Sophie at their small kitchen table, trying to figure out how to explain that Mommy had lost her job. The phone rang, an unknown number. Ms. Walsh. A professional voice she didn't recognize. This is Karen Bennett from Henderson Tech's Human Resources Department. Could you please come to the main office tomorrow morning at 9? I was terminated today, Jennifer said quietly. I've already collected my things. Yes, I'm aware, the woman said. Mr. Henderson would like to speak with you personally. It's important. Jennifer agreed, confused. James Henderson was the CEO of the entire company, a billionaire known for his tech innovations and business acumen. She had never even seen him in person. The next morning, Jennifer was escorted to the top floor to an office with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. And there, behind an enormous desk, sat Ryan Matthews. Except he was clean-shaven now, wearing an expensive suit, looking nothing like the man who had been sitting on the pavement yesterday. Jennifer's legs nearly gave out. I don't understand. Please sit down, Ryan said gently. I owe you an explanation. Over the next hour, Ryan told her the truth. He was indeed James Henderson's son, being groomed to eventually take over the company. But he had been troubled by reports of how management treated lower-level employees, of the lack of compassion in corporate culture. So I spent 3 days homeless, Ryan explained, living on the streets near our buildings, watching how our employees treated people they perceived as beneath them. Most walked past without acknowledgement. Some were actively cruel. And then there was you. He leaned forward. You were late. You knew you'd be fired. And you stopped anyway. You gave away your lunch, your gas money, and your time to help a stranger. That told me everything I need to know about your character. Jennifer's hands trembled in her lap. I still got fired. Margaret has been terminated, Ryan said bluntly. Her pattern of cruelty to employees has been ongoing. Your situation brought it to my attention. I'm sorry you had to experience that. He slid a folder across the desk. I'd like to offer you a position as Director of Human Resources. The salary is triple what you were making. Your job will be to ensure that Henderson Tech treats every employee with the dignity and respect you showed to a stranger on the street. Jennifer stared at the folder, unable to process what was happening. You showed me that compassion isn't a weakness, Ryan continued. It's the strongest value a person can have. And I want that value at the heart of this company. Tears streamed down Jennifer's face. Why? Why would you do this? Because my mother was homeless once, Ryan said quietly, before she met my father. She was 18, pregnant, scared, and alone. One woman, he